got here. I don't know if you want to comment the mining issue up in Iron County.
Sure.
Obviously, a lot of, not so much in Washburn County, but I have contacts up north. Obviously, it's a very big issue. Concern over the possible environmental degradation to that region. Any comment what's going on so far?
Well, in May I called for the creation of a Legislative Council Study Committee so we could look at the existing law, identify areas in which this 35-year-old law might be improved to be more fair to the company, yet protective of our responsibilities to the environment. Finally, after months of delay, the Senate created that committee and we had our first meeting last week. It was a very informative meeting in which I concluded that most of the facts demonstrate that the law can be fixed, but it isn't as broken as some make it out to be. And that we should continue to proceed to look to ways to make the process work, be more timely, so that we eliminate cost to any company that's applying for a permit that is unnecessary, but do it in a way in which you protect the environment and protect the public involvement. In the end, because the federal government has to also apply for permits, whether we say we're going to fast track this permit or not, it's still going to mean it's going to take 4 to 5 years to be finally approved.
It just seemed the initial the proposal was going to leave the public and a lot of municipalities out of the process.
Well, there was a proposal written by and for the company that was really a disaster. I don't expect the Senate to include most of those provisions. The Assembly Republicans are claiming they have a bill. They haven't introduced it. They say they're going to introduce it in December and want to pass it in December. I don't know why it's so urgent to rush a bill through in 1 month when they could have started this in July, number one. And number two, if we're making changes to this process, we need to make sure it's done in a transparent fashion so that the public can be as part of the solutions as well as the legislature. Ramming it through that quickly means that the public is going to be excluded and the policies indeed might not be in the public interest.
Well, the proposed changes of the mining laws, they came from a state senator from Milwaukee.
Well, actually they didn't. There were 2 Milwaukee legislators that were going to co-author the bill.
Right.
The company then wrote the bill. There's no doubt that the company wrote the legislation. Neither one of those legislators introduced the bill.
Okay.
The bill was never introduced, even though a Senate committee wanted to push the bill. It was pulled back because the bill was so extreme and so irresponsible. I wish the Assembly would introduce their bill so we could finally figure out what's in it and then begin to evaluate it. I've offered suggestions to improve the time process, and am open to other changes as long as they don't restrict the public access and they don't hurt the environment.
Well, I guess just as a citizen, I guess when when I heard about these 2 legislators in the Milwaukee area involved, I said, what's their interest in mining? I mean, they don't have mining in Milwaukee. Obviously, it's a statewide issue as well, but it would seem like maybe somebody from a mining region would be proposing those types of...
We should not be writing a legislation for a company or a mine.
Right.
Our law should create a permitting process that can apply to Marathon County as well as Ashland or Iron County.
Right.
And the second thing that's very important is that we should not do the bidding of any particular mining company. Right now, there are 2 mine projects, one in Marathon County, the other in Mellon, in Ashland County, Gogebic project. Both have received boring permits. In Marathon County, the company is actually using the boring permits to do drilling. In Iron County, the Klein Group has halted the project because they say the state takes too long. That's very bizarre behavior. To put your own project on hold, which is costly to the company, time is money, and then blame the state. So one really questions what their true intentions are. But regardless, we have to seriously look at a 35-year-old law and come up, I think, we can come up with a better law. 35 years ago, the law was written by consensus because all stakeholders were invited. I think the state Senate's trying to take that thoughtful, deliberative approach so that we can have a law that stands the test of time, not just respond to this spur-of-the-moment urgency.
Well, I emailed with some people up there in Iron County, and obviously, just like this county, the economic issues are big, are huge up there, jobs.
Sure.
And, you know, it's this battle between creating jobs and concern for the environment, which we're always in tension with up here, I guess. It's just part of living in the Northland, living in modern day America, you know.
Well, mining is a very polarizing issue,
right.
But there's two things no one should disagree with. One is that there is a real economic need in Iron County and northern Wisconsin for job creation. The second is that mining does create economic activity. Those two things aren't really debatable. The real issue is what kind of a process does the state of Wisconsin have that protects the public interest, but at the same time is fair to the average applicant.
Well, thank you very much, Senator.
Thank you.